When I turned 60, my wife Maria overdosed. Before she died, she calmly said to me, "I regret marrying you. Now that I'm older, I've realized something. Money is just external. Love can get you through anything. If I had the chance, I'd marry who I truly love." I blinked and found myself at her engagement party, watching Maria hold a ring up to her first love. "Bob, you once said if I was willing, you'd marry me. Does that still stand?" He could only cry in response. At that moment, I knew she'd been given another shot at life too. I chose to be happy for them, handing over the other ring. Yet at my later wedding, she tearily asked if I rejected her because of the other woman. Waking up again, I was back at the scene with Maria dashing towards Bob with a ring she snatched. "Bob, does that still stand?" The audience was in shock. Maria's parents raced to stop her, but she broke free, her eyes tearful. "You're the crazy ones. I don't care about money, just Bob." "Larry, I don't love you. All you have is money," she declared. I laughed, a bit bitterly but also relieved. She had also been revived. In another life, she had told me she regretted marrying me and would choose differently. Now she got her wish. Bob embraced her, saying yes. I took the other ring from the officiant and quietly said, "Congratulations to you both." Bob looked stunned at how easily I let go. Maria's surprise quickly turned to joy as they left together, chasing happiness. The guests whispered, uneasy about the turn of events. The engagement party became a fiasco. "Larry, sorry for this mess," Maria's father said, trying to smile, while her mother added excuses. I felt no anger towards them. It was the same last time, apologizing while Maria caused chaos. "It's over between us, no need to bring her back," I said. Their faces turned sour. "Larry, you're canceling over this little thing?" Maria's mother protested, trying to smile. I chuckled, unimpressed. "Ma'am, what reputation are you talking about?" Her face turned different shades of anger, but I didn't linger, heading to my car. "Larry," her father called, his voice anxious, but I didn't look back. "Drive me home," I told my driver. In another life, I defied my grandpa for Maria, giving up family connections. No one from my family had come to that wedding, and I lost everything. My grandpa never forgave me, refusing a final goodbye. Back at home, I explained everything. "Unbelievable," grandfather scolded. "They dare treat us like this." My mother cried. "I told you Maria wasn't right." "Enough, dear," my father interrupted. "Ma, don't cry," I comforted. "Maybe next time you'll find someone better." She chuckled through tears, teasing me. "You're still joking." Grandfather sighed. "Larry, we'll make this right. This ends here. Maria and I are done. She's as good as a stranger now." "There should be consequences," grandfather insisted, but I was firm. "I'm focusing on the company now." He looked at me, a bit more proud this time. I'd let him down before. Not this time. The next days were all about work. Maria's drama was ignored. I had dinner meetings with big clients, pushing for international business. During a break, I stood by a window smoking when I overheard a commotion. "Sis-in-law, you chose well, dumping a rich kid for Bob." Maria sounded smug. "Larry might be rich, but money isn't happiness." I paused, listening from the shadows as she continued with disdain. "Even if Bob had said no, I'm not marrying Larry again either. What does he have besides a little money? My parents insisted I marry him back then, but I didn't want to. I'm better than your ex-husband, right?" Bob's voice carried a hint of smugness. He tightened his grip on Maria a little more. "Of course." Maria answered without hesitation, her tone full of certainty. Bob's smile grew more self-satisfied. The people around joined in with teasing, endless flattery and praise ringing out. I took a deep breath, suppressing my anger, and turned away. "Larry." Maria's surprised voice suddenly came from behind. I paused in my steps. "Whoa, isn't it Larry?" Bob, holding Maria's waist, smirked smugly. "Why are you here smoking your blues away all by yourself? Feeling uncomfortable seeing me with Maria? What are you doing here?" Maria looked me up and down, her tone full of accusation. "Are you stalking me again? You're disgusting." I kept a straight face, my tone indifferent. "I'm not stalking you. Just a coincidence. Liar. Maria glared at me angrily. I'm telling you, Larry, stop stalking or harassing me. We're done. I chuckled, a hint of sarcasm in my voice. Maria, are you overestimating yourself? I'd rather never see you again in this life. I knew why she didn't trust me. She always said she was going out late at night, and I'd follow her out of worry, worried she might get into trouble. Ridiculous thing was, she saw it as stalking and harassment. Maria tried to say something, but Bob stopped her. All right, Maria, don't be so upset. Bob's voice was gentle and doting, yet still smug. He embraced Maria's waist, looking at me provocatively. Larry, fancy meeting you here having dinner. Maria playfully gave him a shove, but her eyes and brows bore a hint of pride. I shot him a cold glance, saying nothing. Since it's such a coincidence, why not join us? Bob continued, a hint of challenge in his tone. No need. I have things to do. I turned smoothly, then walked away. Larry, your phone's ringing. Secretary Lily walked up beside me, whispering softly. I took the phone, gave her a faint smile. Maria eyed Lily warily, said with a sharp tone, who's she? Why are you here together? Lily, in a smart professional outfit, had her long black hair resting on her shoulders. Her delicate makeup highlighted her fair skin, giving off an air of elegance and intelligence. In the past, to avoid any misunderstanding, I never hired a female secretary, only male staff around me. But now, I didn't care what she thought at all. I cast her a glance, coldly saying, none of your business. What? Already rushing to find a replacement? Maria sneered. Your family's rich but not royalty. No need to hurry to marry and have an heir, right? Lily chuckled softly, replying calmly, Miss, with your image, you're far from being someone's replacement. Maria's face turned livid with anger at once. Let's go. I looked coldly at Maria, turning to leave. Lily followed closely behind. Maria grabbed my arm, her sharp nails almost digging into my flesh. Larry, I forbid you from being with her. I shook off her hand in annoyance, rubbing where she'd hurt me. Maria, what right do you have to say that? We're over. You can't control who I'm with. I said no, and I mean it. Maria stepped closer, her tone resolute. Will you dare not listen to me? I looked at Maria, my tone calm, but with unwavering determination. Maria, we no longer have anything to do with each other. You can't meddle in my private life, and you certainly can't interfere with my decisions. Maria wanted to say more, but I didn't want to argue with her any longer, cutting her off directly. If you keep causing trouble, don't blame me for being rude. I grabbed Lily's hand, heading into the private room, leaving Maria standing there shaking with anger. A few drinks in, Maria sent me a message, just one sentence. Larry, you'll regret it. I sneered, blocking her. Soon my phone buzzed again. This time it was a transaction notification. Your card ending $20,000 was used. I frowned, opening the details, realizing it was spent here at the club. Seeing this message, I found it amusing. I thought Maria had more guts, acting all decisive in front of me. Turns out she was using my card behind my back. Maria was always like this, cold to me, spending my money recklessly. Never knew any thrift. When we first got married, my grandpa froze all my assets. I couldn't afford her extravagant spending. Tried talking to her, but it only led to endless arguments. I had to work several jobs for her extravagance. But now, I wouldn't indulge her anymore. What's wrong, Larry? Lily asked, noticing my expression. It's nothing. I handed her the phone, my tone steady. Call the bank. Cancel all my supplementary cards. Sure, I'll handle it. If she hates my family's wealth so much, then she shouldn't want both. I'm curious how long she and her true love will last. The next day, as soon as I reached the office building, I saw two familiar figures approaching me one after the other. Larry, Maria started, her tone mixed with panic and anger. What's the meaning of this? Why can't I use my card? I halted, looking at her expressionlessly. It's been cancelled. Maria's voice rose sharply. How dare you cancel my card? I stared at her coldly. What I gave, I can take back. What, without me? You can't even afford basic necessities? Your true love not willing to spend on you? Larry, don't be like this. Bob put his arm out to shield Maria, looking all righteous and serious. Maria left you to find her own happiness. How can you push her like this? Push her? I replied. Maria and I are done. I just paused her card. Simple as that. My tone had a touch of sarcasm. Didn't you say you loved her? Are you telling me you can't even cover her living expenses? Bob's face fell, opening his mouth to argue but found no words. Of course, he couldn't afford it. He was seeking a sugar mama himself. How's he supposed to support Maria? Seeing Bob stuck, Maria couldn't help but pipe up. Larry, don't push it. You're just mad Bob and I are good together and trying to get me back. If you don't unfreeze that card, I'll sue you for not treating your ex-wife right. I looked at her, suddenly finding it laughable. I once thought Maria was the sweetest, most innocent woman. I was willing to give it all up for her. But in the end, she turned out to be a pretentious, vain woman. Go ahead and sue. I said coldly. Maria, one last time, it's over. Don't bother me anymore. With that, I didn't look back, heading straight into the office. I hadn't been at my desk long before my phone rang. It was the housekeeper from the East Side villa. Larry, it's bad. Maria barged into the villa with some people, took all the valuables, and is fighting with the security. I pinched the bridge of my nose, my voice showing no emotion. Call the cops. Half an hour later, I arrived at the police station. Even before stepping in, I heard Maria yelling, "These are my things. Why arrest me?" Seeing me, Maria's eyes showed a moment of guilt, but quickly turned to arrogance and anger. Larry, you actually called the cops on me? Are you heartless? Maria, get real. You're breaking and entering and trying to steal. I'm the victim here. That villa was our marital asset. What's wrong with me taking my own stuff? Couldn't help but chuckle. Maria, did you forget or are you just acting clueless? We didn't even get married. The villa's my personal property now. What right do you have to take anything? Maria was at a loss, her face flushing red then white. I turned to the police, speaking calmly. Officer, Maria broke into my home and tried to take my things. I hope you handle this fairly. Bob stepped up in front of Maria, speaking righteously. Officer, there must be some misunderstanding. Larry, don't let your grudge ruin Maria's name. She was just getting her stuff. I was done with the nonsense. Using your brain would be nice, Bob. Officer, the security footage is clear. My lawyer will follow up. Bob, realizing things were looking bad, tried to mediate. Larry, we messed up today. We were acting foolish. Please let it go for old time's sake. I'd already looked into Bob's past. He's a gold digger, relying on his looks to charm rich ladies. To him, Maria was probably just an ATM, and she foolishly thought she'd found true love. With no intention of more arguing, I said to the police officer, please file this formally. I'm not agreeing to any settlement. Then I left, leaving Maria and Bob fuming. Maria's escapade ended with an attempt to steal and a hefty fine. Recently, my mom's been busy arranging blind dates for me. Honestly, I'm not into it, but she insisted, so I agreed to meet one. The planned spot was a fancy restaurant. When I arrived, my date was already there. You're Amy? I was surprised, recognizing my high school classmate. The quiet, well-mannered girl I remembered, with long black hair and a shy smile. Long time no see, Larry, she greeted warmly. The Amy before me was now more refined, carrying the grace of a mature woman. We talked about everything, from school days to jobs and life now. We shared many common interests. Her eloquence and insight impressed me. I heard there's a new theme park at the city outskirts with a fireworks show at night. Haven't seen it yet. Have you? I suggested. How about we go together tomorrow? She smiled and agreed. I got to our meeting spot early and soon saw Amy approaching. Sorry, I'm late, she said. No worries. I just got here, I replied, handing her a cup of milk tea. Let's find a good spot. We strolled together to the plaza, chatting and laughing. The mood was relaxed and fun. Just as we reached the entrance, I stopped short, spotting Maria arguing loudly with Bob at a ticket window. This fireworks show is a waste. You can see it from outside for free, Bob said, clearly frustrated. I don't care. I want to go in and get the best tickets, Maria insisted. The better seats are $1,500. Are you crazy? Not worth it for some fireworks. I don't care, I'm going. People in line behind them began to complain. Come on, are you buying or not? There's a line here. Yeah, move it. Maria, feeling embarrassed, seemed about to lash out, then spotted me in the crowd. Her face turned sour. I'll pay. 2 tickets to the best section, please. Maria, you're the best, Bob said. Bob had a big grin and said, you should have just paid earlier, problem solved. He was still going on and on about the ticket price. But Maria walked right up to me, her eyes darting between me and Amy. So, she said, you've got a new flame already? I didn't even blink. Mind your own business, I replied coolly. Who I'm with is none of your concern. How can it not be? Maria snapped. We are or were married after all. I took a step back, putting some distance between us. Didn't you ditch our wedding? I shot back with a cold chuckle. Before Maria could respond, Amy chimed in with a gracious smile. Hi, I'm Amy, Larry's fiancée, she said, lightly linking her arm with mine. We owe you, Maria, since you let Larry go. We wouldn't be so happy together otherwise, right, love? She dragged out the word love on purpose, making it sound playful. I wrapped an arm around her waist, leaning in to whisper, you're really good at pushing buttons. Amy rolled her eyes at me, but her smile told another story. Maria's face turned various shades before she sneered. Don't get too cocky. You just picked up someone else's leftovers. Love in a family arranged marriage? You're dreaming. It won't last. Amy arched her brow. Really? What about love that can't even afford 1 fireworks ticket? Is that happy? Maria, maybe you should focus on your own situation before you end up all alone with nothing. You. Maria shook with rage, but I didn't let her finish. All right, we're buying tickets, I said, steering Amy towards the window. We walked into the amusement park together, leaving Maria and Bob to bicker behind us. Don't mind them, I told Amy quietly. They're just buskills. Her mood noticeably lifted once we were inside the park, like a kid dragging me to see everything. Fireworks lit up the sky beautifully. Watching her smile, I couldn't help but grin too. After the show, as we walked back to the car, Amy said, today was so fun. Yeah, it was, I agreed. Amy suddenly stopped and looked at me. Did you ever really love Maria? She asked. I did, I admitted. When we got married, I thought it'd be forever. But marriage isn't a fairy tale and life isn't a TV drama. Over time, things just broke down. I probably should have seen Maria's indifference for what it was. She'd always pull back from me, even with the simplest gestures. I noticed her distance, but I loved her too much. I thought maybe I wasn't good or considerate enough. The first winter after we married, Maria fell sick. I stayed by her side all night, and while she was half delirious, she kept mumbling sorry. In a weak voice, she asked if she shouldn't have married me. I joked, saying, silly, who else would you marry then? Even as I saw her mumble a name, Bob, her first love from way back, the one she never got over. Maybe it's because you can't have what you want when you're young that it becomes more precious. Thinking of it now, it's in the past. Yeah, the past, Amy nodded. Let's leave it there. We walked on in silence, soaking in the calm night with its dim street lights. She took my hand, giving me a gentle squeeze. I squeezed back, feeling the cool softness of her hand. She looked at me and smiled, her eyes filled with warmth. Being with Amy was a no-brainer for both our families. My mom even bought out trending topics online to spread news of our engagement, complete with a picture of my knee down as I proposed to Amy. She held flowers, radiant and smiling, and people couldn't stop showering us with compliments, calling us a perfect match. I was busy planning the wedding when Maria showed up again. I was knee-deep in work at the office when Maria barged in, throwing herself at me. Larry, Don't marry her. I messed up, I really messed up. I've been thinking about you and it's driving me crazy, she cried. Annoyed, I pushed her away. How'd you even get in here? Only then did Maria notice my cold demeanor. She stammered, she was wearing last year's Chanel dress, and her bag was just as outdated, looking well kept but not new. Maria, who usually wore only current styles, seemed like she hadn't done too well without me. Get out, I said, having run out of patience. You're not welcome here. Maria bit her lip, tears threatening to fall. Larry, please don't be like this. Be nice to me? Have some decency, I interrupted coldly. My fiancé will be here soon. At those words, Maria's face lost all color. It's like she just remembered something and she said urgently, I know you came back to life, too. Let's start over. Life without money is hell. I swatted her hand away like it was something filthy and wiped mine. No idea what you're talking about, I said. But please leave my office. Otherwise, I'll call security. She started undoing the buttons on her coat. Piece by piece, she shed her layers. In the end, she was left with nothing but a skimpy, alluring set of underwear. Larry, she bit her lip, eyes brimming with tears. I'm willing to marry you again. Please don't marry her. I suddenly pulled open the door and yelled out, Call security. The secretary rushed over, freezing at the sight of the scene. I shot Maria a cold glance, my voice as icy as it gets. Throw her out for me. Secretary Lynn stepped forward to pull Maria away, but she clung to my clothes desperately. Larry, don't treat me like this. I know you still have feelings for me. We're the true couple here. Disgusted, I shook her hand off. Don't touch me. The office door creaked open. Amy walked in with a thermal container, smiling warmly. Larry, I made your favorite soup today. Amy's smile froze immediately, looking at Maria's nearly bare state in disbelief. Before I could explain, Maria rushed over to Amy. What are you? Just a stand-in. Larry doesn't love you. He loves me. My heart clenched as I instinctively tried to shield Amy. But Maria was quicker, shoving past me and kneeling before Amy. I'm begging you, please give Larry back to me. I'm his wife. We even have a child. My face turned dark as coal at her words. This woman, to reach her goal, even brought a fake child into this. We dated, but I never even touched her. And now she's spinning lies to gain sympathy. Maria, stop fabricating nonsense. I never touched you. I'm about to marry Amy. Don't disrupt our lives anymore. Maria sat on the floor in disbelief, staring at me. Larry, how could you do this to me? Have you forgotten your vows? You said you'd love me forever and take care of me for a lifetime. I laughed coldly, cutting her off. Maria, be honest with yourself. Why did you want to marry me? Wasn't it just for my money? I admit, I was dazzled by your looks and sweetness back then, which led me to agree to marry you. But you confessed to your first love and ran off on the wedding day. It's been over between us. Maria wanted to say more, but a voice interrupted. Maria, what are you doing? Come back with me. Bob stood at the door, his face grim. I won't go with you. Who do you think you are? A penniless loser trying to tell me what to do. Can't even afford a pink diamond for me. I haven't bought a new dress in ages. Bob's face kept changing, looking frustrated as he dragged Maria. Maria, stop it. Come with me. His expression seemed more like anger than concern. But Maria went on crying. I'm not leaving. If not for you, I'd already be Larry's wife. Larry, say something. Tell him you love me, that you're marrying me. I impatiently told Lily to hurry and get this crazy woman out of here. Bob, embarrassed, slapped her. Who do you think you are, some rich heiress? A fallen phoenix is no better than a chicken. You're only thinking about money. I'm not falling for it again. With that, he turned and left without another glance at Maria. The security arrived just then and, seeing Maria causing a scene, dragged her out without hesitation. Larry, you'll get what's coming. And you too, Amy, just wait. Maria's shrieks faded into the distance as the office finally fell quiet. I rubbed my temples, feeling a wave of exhaustion. Amy stood there pale, silent. I took her hand and softly said, I'm sorry for scaring you. She nodded and leaned into my embrace. It's okay, I believe you. I promised her remorsefully, I'll make sure she doesn't bother us again. I contacted Maria's parents right away. If Maria keeps harassing me, I warned them, don't blame me for being merciless enough to close their company. Maria's father's small business has been struggling, relying on occasional financial aid from me. I could make it disappear with just a bit of pressure. Her parents turned pale with fear, promising to keep Maria in check and not disturb my life again. In the days that followed, Maria indeed stopped causing trouble. I finally breathed easy, focusing on preparing for my wedding with Amy. Amy's such a sweet and kind girl. Being with her brings back long-lost peace and happiness. Together, we picked out the wedding dress, decorated the chapel, and dreamed about a future full of happiness. Our wedding day came as planned. To avoid surprises, I beefed up security. Every entrance was guarded by at least 4 security personnel. The sun was shining. The chapel was adorned with flowers and ribbons, full of joy. I stood in a sharp suit in front of the priest, nervous yet excited, waiting for my bride. When the sacred wedding march started, Amy, escorted by her father, walked toward me. She looked especially beautiful today, her white dress radiating elegance. Happiness illuminated her face like an angel descended to earth. My heart filled with joy and gratitude in that moment. Mr. Larry, do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife, for richer or poorer? The priest's solemn voice echoed through the chapel. I stared into Amy's eyes and firmly answered, I do. Then suddenly, there was a commotion at the chapel door. Larry, you can't marry her. I'm your bride. My heart sank. I didn't need to turn around to know who it was. How did no one stop her? Maria, wearing a tattered white wedding dress, with messy hair and smudged makeup, was blocked at the door looking disheveled and pathetic. Yet she kept screaming relentlessly, trying to break in. Larry, look at me. I'm the one who truly loves you. How can you do this to me? She seemed like a wounded beast, making one last desperate struggle. The guests in the church were shocked by the sudden chaos, whispering and talking among themselves. I squeezed Amy's hand, gave her a reassuring nod, signaling her not to worry. Security, get this crazy woman out of here. I ordered coldly, my voice filled with disgust and impatience. The security guards acted immediately at my command, attempting to drag Maria away. Let me go. Let me go. Maria struggled desperately, but it was useless. She could only watch as Amy and I slowly walked up the steps, getting farther and farther away from her. She cried out in desperation, her voice hoarse. Larry, are you really going to do this to me? Have you forgotten our past life? The promises and sweet memories flooded back into my mind, making me hesitate for a moment. But all that was in the past. The person I love now is Amy. The person I'm going to marry is Amy. Looking at her, I felt no pity, only endless annoyance. Take her away. I waved to the security, indicating them to remove Maria. The guards lifted Maria, dragging her out of the church. Larry, I curse you. You'll never be happy in this life. Maria's desperate curse echoed from the church entrance, reverberating in the empty church. I watched her disheveled figure leave, a cold smile forming on my lips. Maria, who do you think you are? How dare you curse me? Those who betray true love deserve eternal misery. I glanced at Amy, her face pale, a surge of guilt rising in my heart. Amy, I'm sorry for scaring you. I gently pulled her into an embrace. Amy nestled against me, shaking her head softly. I'm okay. I trust you. I held her tightly, whispering in her ear. I love you, Amy. I'll spend my whole life loving you. Amy looked up, her eyes glistening with tears. Then she stood on tiptoe and placed a gentle kiss on my lips. I believe you. At last, I have found the happiness I was looking for.